Hey, what up, people? It's your boy Fred, and I'm welcoming you to my YouTube channel. Okay, today we're going to be looking at this question on link mechanism. All right, this is question number 1, all right, of the just concluded 2022 West African Examination Council. Okay, technical drawing 2022. Okay, so this question number 1, yeah. So let's start straight up. Now, take a very close look at this link mechanism. The question says, Figure 1 shows the diagram of a link mechanism, all right, the crank FG. This is the crank FG, okay? The crank FG rotates about F, so it is what? Pivoted at the point F. So it's like this. So this is FG. So, all right, rotates about F. So it rotates about this point like this, okay, like that. And the link GH, so this is a link here, or you can call it connecting rod or shaft. Okay, the link or connecting rod or shaft GH slides up and down in the slot HP. So there is a slot, there's the slot here. Sorry, in the slot H, that's here. Okay, so this point, you see this crank, this shaft slides along this guard like this, up and down. Now let's assume this is it, yeah. So as this one rotates about point, it pushes this one down and pulls it back like that. So this point keeps sliding up and down while this one is turning. Do you understand that? All right, so that's it. Now P is the midpoint. Now this crank, this shaft, sorry, GH, okay? This point P is the midpoint. So if this is 90 as indicated, the midpoint is what? That will be 45, all right? So the midpoint GH. Now draw full size the given diagram. That's that's A. Then B, plot the locus of P for one revolution of FG. Okay. So for one revolution of this FG, we're going to plot the locus of the point P. I hope that's clear. So let's start up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reproduce this whole system here on my paper, all right? So now let me quickly do that, then I will explain how I did it, all right? So to keep this video short. All right, so here we have it. Now, how did I come about this? Let me explain. Now, see here, this is what? The crank, the dimension is what? 60. So what I did was I stretched 60 on my ruler. That's 60, all right? With 60, look for any convenient point on the paper. Needle, and what? Draw a circle, all right, with 60. That's what I did. Thin lines, don't draw thick lines. Thin lines, so you describe a circle. After doing that, you know the circle has a center, a middle point where you needled it, all right? Now draw a line, place your ruler, okay, straight like this, and draw a line through the diameter of the circle, all right? Because what we want to do now is we want to divide this circle into 12 equal parts. The 12 equal parts indicate movement of the what? Of the crank FG. So the movement as it moves around a circular path, okay? So draw a line through the center of the circle and extend it down. Do you understand? Do not miss the center. That's the diameter, extended diameter. So when you're done, you're going to have to divide the circle. If you do that, you would have divided the circle into 2 equal parts. So you would need to divide into 12 equal parts by dropping a perpendicular. So you align your set square like this. Make sure your set square is properly aligned. You can use this side, or you can just use it as reference. So when it is properly aligned, you know this will be perpendicular, okay? So you can just place your ruler like this and adjust it downward a little bit. Make sure your hands are not shaking. Then you set your ruler like this again and move it and drop a perpendicular. Remember, it has to be perpendicular. If you do that, you would have divided the circle into 4 equal parts. Then how do you divide it into 12? Now remember, you use this radius of 60 to what? Draw a circle initially. All right, now do not alter this radius. You maintain 60. Now by the time you divide the circle into 4 equal parts, you must have gotten 4 points here like this. All you have to do is needle this 60, needle here on this point, all right? Cut the top, cut the bottom. With this same 60, needle here, cut left, cut right of the circle. Same 60, you needle here, cut the top, cut the bottom. All right, same 60 you needle here, cut left, right, and cut right. So when you're done, get a ruler and join all the opposite intersections, opposite points. So you connect here through the center of the circle to touch this other one you've cut here. Then also connect here through the center of the circle. You draw a line like this. You draw a line through. Then if you do that, you must have divided the circle into 12 equal parts. So now we are going to locate this crank. Now if you check this, if this were to be a clock, all right, now this should be like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. This is me just getting an approximate position now, right? So this is like 2 o'clock. So if this is a clock, this is 2 o'clock, definitely this is 2. All right, then choose that as your what? The main crank. Now the starting position, that is the crank and the shaft, are going to be thick lines. Remember, everything here is thin lines. So you draw this FG. All right, that's 2 o'clock. Draw it thick line. All right, I hope that's obvious. Yes. Now how do I locate this point here, like GH? Very simple. Now ignore this 60 because it's not really relevant at this moment. All right, the distance from here to here being 60 is not really relevant. Okay, I haven't explained how I got this line. Okay, so from here you can see that the distance from here to here is what? 30. That's the distance from here to here, 30. So what I did was, after dividing my circle into 12 equal parts, I positioned my ruler, all right, and measured 30. So I measured 30. When I got 30, I measured it along this line. So from here to here is 30. Then what I did was I aligned my set square with this straight line here, supported with my ruler, and I transferred it to this where I measured 30, and I drew a line down. I hope that's clear. Good. Now this is the line through which this point H will be sliding. So it will be sliding along this line up and down according to the question. So now what is GH? GH is 90. So move over to your ruler and measure 90. So this is 90 on the dot. All right. Now needle on G with that 90. Needle on G and strike this line. Strike this line. Okay. And call it H. This point here is H. All right. That's this H here. Okay. So I'm going to connect this point to this point G to give me my what? My shaft or connecting rod, as the case may be, with a thick line. So this is GH. So these are the only thick lines you should have on the drawing, apart from the profile that you obtain at the end of the day. Okay, so that's for that. Now these are the initial positions. So let me call this 0, because this crank will be moving clockwise like this. So it will move from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3, 4, 5 up to 12. Like 0 becomes 12 again. So that's it. So 0, 1, 2, 3 to 11 and 12. All right. Now let us start. Now this simply means that when FG was at O, all right, H was at this point, and you knew how I got my point H. So let me call this point here H, because this is O. All right, let me call it HO. Okay. Now I'm going to locate this point P. All right, and we're told that P is what? Halfway GH. So if this is 90, then this is what? 45, because half of 90 is 45. So now at this point it will be expedient that you have another either pair of compass or pair of divider and stretch 45. So this is 4.5 on the dot. Can you see that? So now look at what I'm going to do now. I'm keeping this one as what? 4.5, while I'm keeping this one as what? As 90. What does that represent? They represent This crank here, 90 is this one. You see this point here, PG, that's 45, is represented by this one. This is 45. I hope that's clear. Good. Now, how do I get 45? Like the point P, which is halfway. Just needle here with this 45, needle on G, and cut this crank. Sorry, this shaft. Okay, I hope you can see that. Cut it. Now, this point of intersection, that is your P. So I'm going to call it PO. Why? Because this is the crank at O, point O. At point O, we have here as what? HO and PO. I want to believe you understand that. Now, with this same 90, do not alter it. Remember, 90 is our what? GH. All right? Good. Now, we'll now move to 1 and cut along this line. Remember, it is sliding along this line, not this one. So you needle on 1, cut this line. I hope that's clear. Now, since we are now at 1, we'll now call this place, this point here, we'll call it H1. So what do? Now, do not draw thick lines. Now, this is FG, or let me say FOHO. Now, this is F1, H1. So we are going to join 1 to H with a thin line. Meanwhile, if you are finding it a little bit difficult to understand what's going on here, you can go check out my videos on previous videos I uploaded on link mechanism. All right, they will, if you watch those videos, they will help you with understanding what's going on here. Okay, because we've dealt with some simpler link mechanism before. Okay, so let's move on. So now, let me repeat. You needled here with your 90 and you cut this line, and that's your H1. Now, just like you located PO here, you're going to now locate what? P1. And what's your P1? Remember, it is midpoint of GH, which is 45. Remember, we fixed this one at 45. So you needle on 1 here, and you cut this line that you've joined at this point. And this becomes your what? Just ball it a little bit, and that's P1. So you continue, repeat the same thing. So I bring my 90 back, which is my shaft. I needle on 2. I cut this line. I hope that's visible. Yes. Cut this line. That's it. I'll connect 2 with a thin line, not thick, to this point, which is my H2. All right. So with your 45, needle on 2 and cut this new line. And that is your what? H. Sorry, that's not H. That's P. All right, P2. I hope you are following. Then with your 90 again, you needle on 3. Now, 3 and this line, they are almost on the same point. All right. So it's not going to really almost on the same point. So, but let's just assume it is on a different point. So that's 3. That's H3. So I'm going to connect this to H3. It's not going to make any much difference though. That's it. Okay, H3. Then I'm not going to locate. 45. That's the midpoint. Using my 45 now. You cut, and this is my H. My H. Okay, this is H3. This should be P3. Sorry, not H3, P3. Then I'll now go to 4 with my 90 again. You needle on 4 and cut this same line again, horizontal line. So this is my H4. Connect to H4, the shaft, and with your 45, you needle on 4 and cut, and that gives you the point P4. Just continue like that. 5, you cut. Remember, keep your eyes on this horizontal line. So this is what? H5, and you connect 5 to H5 like this. Then you bring your 45. Don't forget this is 45. You needle here, you cut the line, and that's P5. Continue. You needle on 6. Cut the line, and this is it here. This is H6. You connect. Sorry, I'm not supposed to dot this point here. Sorry, that's just an intersection. Let me just correct that. I just needed my arc to cut, and that's all. Okay, so this is H6. So I'm going to connect 6 to this point. Remember, these are thin lines, not thick. And you cut the line 6H6, and that gives you P6. Then for 7, you needle and you cut. Okay, the 7 is just going to cut this point on the dot. Okay, that's it. So if I draw an arc, it's just this point here. All right, so it has already been connected with a straight line. I don't need to draw another line. So all I need to look for is the middle. That's P with my 45. Don't forget this is 45. So you cut there, and this is P7. Remember, this is H7. Then continue with your 90, needle on 8. So you can see it's moving backward. Now here, this is your what? H8. Connect H8 to what? To 8. With a thin line, and cut with your 45. And this is P8. Then we'll go to 9. I hope that's clear. Let me move it a little bit. Okay, 9. Cut the line. These are H9. Connect H9 with 9. And there you have it. Then with your 45, you needle on 9. And you cut. And this gives you P9. Then for 10, you needle on 10. Cut. That's H10. Connect this point to 10. And with your 45, you needle on 10. And you cut. And that gives you P10. Then 11, you can see 11 is already on the line. All right, there's no point for me to draw on the line, so I'll just look for the point 11. So this is 11. If I cut along this line, this gives me my what? H11. All right, then I get my 45, needle on 11, and cut, because 11 is already on the line, and this becomes P11. Now this is 12. I've already done 12. That's the first one I did. All right, 12 is the same thing as O. So we've already done it. We've gotten PO and so on. Now check it out. These are all the points that will connect the profile. Okay. So you now use a French curve or a flexible curve or a broomstick. You can go check out my video on how to use a French curve and a flexible broomstick to connect curves. Okay. I did one video, so I uploaded on video. You can do that. Now I discovered that when I'm about, now I'm using a broomstick, all right? When I'm about to join this, okay, curve here, it's a little bit, I'm not too sure about the curve at this point. So I need one more point so I can get a perfect turning, okay? Now remember, You can divide a circle into 20 equal parts if you like. All right. So you can actually choose any point. It's still the same thing. All right. So I'm going to choose, since it is between P3 and P4, that is number 3 and number 4. I'm going to choose any random point, approximately midpoint of this arc. Okay. And I'll call it X. So let me choose approximate center somewhere here and call it X, because I need one more point there. So what I'll do is I'll bring my 90. I'm going to needle on X. Let me move this a little bit. Needle on X and cut. Still on this line. Okay, that's it there. And I'll call this HX. All right. Then I'll connect this middle here, X to HX, with a thin line. All right. Then with my 45, I'll needle on this point and cut. So this become what? Another extra point, PX. I have to bring in this extra point so that I can turn properly here, because it's not crowded with dots enough. So now you can now what? Draw the curve. Okay. So you can see that I've gotten 3 perfect points here. So I'll connect that, and I'm going to connect this 3 here. All right. Then I'm going to connect this. All right. Then I'm going to connect this 3 here, point. Now remember, at this point you can use thick lines. You use thick lines to draw the curve. All right. So I'm going to connect this point here. Okay. Sorry about that. And finally connect this and you connect this. Okay, so that's it. Approximately something of this nature. So that's your boy. That's how to look for the locus of the points on the link mechanism. All right, I want to thank you very much for watching. If you find this video very interesting, please just hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Once again, my name is Fred, and I keep uploading videos of this nature every now and then. I hope you like the video. Thank you very much for watching, and do have a nice day. Bye.